One of our users in the USA would like some help on producing a design for a plot of land such as you see here, with a building in the middle of it that's 40 feet long by 35 foot long, or 35 feet wide rather. We'll begin by selecting File and New, and we'll take the default drawing and we'll pick the line tool and begin lining. We're not going to concern ourselves with where we place the footprint of the building. We'll just click and then move across. Now Polar is on, but Grid and Snap are off, and so I just move in the direction that I want to go, and it's 35 feet. We draw in the US in decimal feet, or fractions of a decimal foot, and we go down 40 feet in that direction. I'll need to use the wheel of the mouse to zoom out a little, and we come across back in this direction 35 feet, and we can then go 40 feet in that direction. Just make sure you move your mouse so that the cursor points straight up, and exit from there. So we have a building of the appropriate size. You might at this point just put a dimension in. So let's have a linear dimension from the end of that to the end of that one, and just pull down, and you'll see that the dimension reads 35.0 feet. If I select it and change the dimension to architectural, it'll show 35 feet 0 inches. The next step might be to put the paving around the house. There's a simple way to do that and a slightly longer way. We'll use the slightly longer way, and we'll modify and offset, and we'll pick that line there, right click and set a distance of 3 feet. We'll say the eaves are 3 feet. Once that's done, we can move. Oops, I picked the incorrect side there. Easy to remove that later, and we're done, and we can exit from there. I'll just delete that dimension for the moment, and delete this line that we put inadvertently in to square off the footpath or path around. Modify and fill it, and just work your way around like so. So we now have the footprint of the house down, and exit from there. Now because Polar's on, we can draw a line from that end point there, and notice as I move around, the dotted line shows. What I want to do is to draw the roof line in. So I'll repeat the line, pick up this one here, come through there like so, and repeat for the area down here, although I could have mirrored it. You'll notice that I'm making sure I go in enough distance so that the lines cross like so. Now I'm going to draw a line, another line, right click, pick up line from an intersect there to an intersect here. So there's some messy lines around there. The way to handle that is to modify and trim. So you pick a cutting edge, that one can be, think of it as a guillotine, and we chop off that one. Repeat the trim, and this one can be the cutting edge that chops that one off. I can repeat the trim, pick that one there, it's a single cutting edge, and I can knock off those pieces of line. So we have the roof outline. The next step might well be to draw the porch in. I'm going to draw that separately. Let's imagine, we'll pick the line command, let's imagine that the porch is 6 foot 6 inches, so that's 6.5 in one direction, and we'll zoom in a little, and we might come down here, it might be 7 foot 9 inches, so that's 7.75 decimal feet. Come across back here, and we made it 6.5, and then back up 7.75 in that direction, and we can exit. So we've got our little porch drawn. I'm going to pick it up by selecting it, and then I'll right click and I'll move, picking it up by You don't have to snap to it. I'll grab that control grip and put it at the midpoint of that line there. So there's our porch in position. Let's imagine that the front boundary is 40 feet away. So I'll modify and offset, pick 40 feet from the front of the house, right click, through point, right click, distance, change that to 40 and we'll indicate that. So now we want a path running through, so let's right click and use the line command. We'll pick up the middle and perpendicular to that new line that we've drawn, and we can exit. To make, say, a 4 foot wide path, right click, offset again, pick that line, right click, change our distance to half of our 4 foot is 2, there, and pick that one again and exit, and then remove. Well, I've changed my background colour to white and developed the drawing a little more. I've put a line thickness on the outline of the house to make it stand up. I've gone to library, plants, standard, and scrolled through and found symbols that I like, and I've just been inserting them into the drawing. They come in as 3 foot wide symbols. I select and scale the symbol. Let's imagine there's a rather large tree in this area. We could use the distance commands, and how wide is it? It's about 9 feet in canopy diameter. Now we want to present the drawing. Let's imagine we want to present this on an architectural C-size sheet. So I'll go to Format and Layout. I'll pick a new one. I'll pick here and pick Architectural C sheet. We'll leave it in portrait mode and we'll OK that. So now when we go to Layout and I zoom extents, there's our design. We have not set the scale, our view scale. If I dive in here, I can change this magenta box and you'll see the design shrink a little on the display as we do that. I can set my scale in that floating viewport via Modify, Set Fixed Scale in Layout, pick my viewport, Imperial 1, we'll try 1/96, which is a common scale, and that you might have seen the drawing just shrink a little. To put a title block in, I can go to Library, Details, and scroll down here to Title Block and pick Title and bring it in and insert it into the drawing and pop it down there. That would look a little too large. I can select the block and pick Scale and just let's shrink it by 3/4. I'll type 0.75 and then I'll make the colour of the frame rather than by layer. I'll come in here to select colour and make it white and unselect. So there we are, from scratch, a drawing in Imperial units using decimal feet with a logo and drawing title block scaled at 1/96 on an architectural C-size sheet.